In this screencast, we're going to look at adding and editing content to a Squarespace page. And when you get your site initially from Measured Brilliance, you'll see that you have a series of pages made for you and a lot of content already filled in. And once the site has gone live, we want you to be able to come back and add and edit content as much as you need to. So the place where you do that is over here on the left-hand side. We have a pages menu. And if I click through, you'll see the pages that have been created for you already. We have 4 here in this case. We have homepage, what we do, our story, and contact us. And in order to add some content to that page, we're going to put it into edit mode. And you'll see that as I move my cursor, my mouse cursor over the content, we have a little black box that pops up and it says page content and this big button edit. So we basically are putting the page into edit mode when we click on that. You see that as I move around the page, there are different things that I can put into edit mode. And what I'm looking for is this page content version. So it's usually fairly large as I drag my mouse cursor over the page. So I'm going to click on the edit button and you'll see what happens. The page kind of expands to fill the entire window and the kind of outer areas are grayed out, and I get this black box across the top with my save and cancel options, and then suddenly I can add and edit the content inside it. So I can click inside this text that has been added automatically for us, and you'll see that I again get my text editing tools, my bold, my italic, adding in links, and also the next thing that I notice, which isn't immediately obvious, is that as I drag my mouse cursor around, the next thing I get are these little kind of blob indicators. And what these represent is that you can add more content here. So I can already edit the content that exists. So I can say, this is some new content, and I can add that in. If I were to hit save at this point, I've edited that content and that page will immediately be saved, which is great. I can pop my page back into edit mode, and then my indicators here tell me I can add new content. So as well as editing content that exists, I can add new content, and the black bar that appears when I hover my cursor over that, that's telling me this is where the content you add is going to appear. So if I click on my indicator, I have all of these different types of content that I can add. I actually scroll up and down this list. You can scroll with your mouse wheel, or some computers will have a little scroll bar over here on the right. And you can see all the different types of content that I can add. And the most common ones are going to be up here at the top. We're going to be adding, very often we're going to be adding a text block, and very often we're going to be adding image blocks. But it really is worth experimenting with the others if you've created a page that you're testing out. In this case, I'm just going to add another text box. And you see, very simple prompt. It says right here. So this is my new content. Again, when I'm done, I can hit save. And an important thing to remember about Squarespace pages when they're in edit mode is that none of the changes that you have made so far are saved and visible to the public until I hit this save button. So you can make a lot of big sweeping changes and none of them are visible until I hit the save button. The page comes out of edit mode and my new content is live for everyone to see if my website is live. So that covers the basics of adding and editing content in a Squarespace page. As I mentioned, when a website arrives with you from Measured Brilliance, it will already have content populated, but we really encourage you to log into Squarespace and experiment with adding and editing content so that you're confident in using the tool and adjusting your website as you go forward over time.